Hey there, and welcome to a behind the scenes episode of The PA is In. If you are new here, these episodes are a little less scripted, a little less formal, and where I share with you something that happened to me that made me think of you. So, as you may know, if you've heard in my recent episodes on what I'm doing outside of work and entrepreneurship, I am training for my triathlon. In fact, not just any triathlon, my first Olympic distance triathlon, and the first triathlon I'm doing that is organized and competitive in about 10 years. In fact, 10 summers ago, I did my last triathlon when I was pregnant with my now 9-year-old. As he likes to remind me, he will be there cheering me on for my next triathlon on the outside instead of on the inside. So, as a part of this training, I have been doing morning lap swims at our community pool. It's this great, get together where everyone comes and does their own workout, but we're there together. On the very first lap swim of the summer, I was in my lane, swimming my laps, and it was so beautiful out that day. The sun had risen. And the really cool thing about swimming outdoors is that as the sun is coming up, it's reflecting really beautifully on the top of the water. And the thing about the sun and the water, I don't know what about science makes this happen to the top of the pool, but it reflects on the top of the pool. And if no one is in the water, you can see these like geometric shapes of light reflecting on the bottom of the pool. So it's actually happening at the top of the water, but you see it on the bottom of the pool. And as I was swimming along and I realized that as I was looking down beneath me, as I was swimming, I was disrupting the water, obviously, because I was moving through it. But not only my body, like where my body and my shadow was, but rather all of this water around me was also getting disrupted. And as I'm swimming along, I ended up sort of in sync with the person in the lane next to me. So, like, I'm swimming along, they're swimming along. And there was this synergistic effect of this disruption that we were having with the water, where the person next to me was also disrupting, where they were swimming and the water molecules around them, and making it so that underneath them there was this wide space of impact that they were having. Same for me. We were next to each other with lane lines, but still, my disruption and this impact that I was having on the water and their disruption and the impact that they were having on the water had sort of synergistically combined so that you could see physically the fact that we were disrupting the water molecules. Now, the interesting part about this is if you waited at the end or stopped or everyone had gotten out of the pool, it would have gone back to baseline without evidence of this disruption. And this just made me think about how what we do has an impact not only on ourselves, but on the people around us. Thinking back on a recent interview I did with Don Martinez, where he was talking about a practice where he worked where boundaries were very rare. And that was not part of sort of the normal culture of that workplace until someone started to build boundaries, until someone started to say no to seeing patients who had shown up late or no to taking on extra workload. And that once that one person did it, what that did was give permission to everyone else that they too had within their power the ability to say no. I am not available for that. I am not open to that. That is against my boundaries. I'm not willing to do more. And that it had this ripple effect, not unlike what was happening in the water that day, where one person said or did something and it had a positive impact on other people because it sort of inadvertently or unofficially gave them permission to do that same thing. It is my hope that this podcast has that effect on you and your workplace. And that the things that you do and say, and that the culture that you build, and that the choices that you make also have a wider impact on your workplace in general, on healthcare at large, on some of these things that we don't always see the impact that we're having on those around us. But that the way we treat other people, that the choices that we make, that the boundaries that we build, that who we are does have an impact on those around us, whether it's positive or negative. And whether it's positive or negative is within our control, and that we do have the ability to change those things for the better. And also, just a reminder to look around you and say, hey, if I'm the person in this setting who feels like I'm struggling, what are other people doing? What can I emulate? What are best practices that I can take from what other people are doing and apply to my life that might help me to go from merely surviving to thriving? So these are the thoughts that I'm having at 6 a.m. as the sun is rising over the lap pool, as I'm swimming my miles, getting ready for my triathlon. You are always in my mind, and I'm constantly thinking of new and different ways that I can help you to see the ability to make changes in your own life, the ability to impact the healthcare system at large, the ability to positively impact the other people that are in your life that you encounter here, there, and everywhere. So thank you, as always, for spending your precious, precious time tuning into this show. I hope that it serves you. If there is something specific that you would like me to do, either a structured formal episode on or a little behind the scenes look of what's going on in my life, if there's something that you want covered, if there's something that you're struggling with that we might be able to help you out with, send us an email to themoneypa@gmail.com. Let our team know. You may hear your topic addressed. You may hear your question answered on a future episode. That's all for today. This PA is out.